It's another edition of Kaleidoscope on Channels Television. Hello and welcome. I'm Anne Nwawadu. On the program today, we sit with the founder and executive chairman of Blue Diamond Group, Festus mbisiogu, to discuss how the activities of the organization are aiding development in the country. Also, a chat with the co-founder and CEO, Marcelle Ruth Cancer Center and Specialist Hospital, Modukwe Elebute Odunsi, reveals plans to break the gap in Nigeria's health sector and how the organization will be pushing its CSR activities through its foundation. Once again, welcome to the program. Blue Diamond Group is a conglomerate of international service providers in various areas, including logistics, haulage, cargo services, and more. Blue Diamond Group is a conglomerate of international service providers that include Blue Diamond Logistics China, an arm based and registered in China, providing logistics, haulage, sea and air cargo services from China to anywhere in the world, warehousing and delivery across Nigeria. Blue Diamond Group began as a sole logistics and trade service provider. Today, the company has delved into other areas like manufacturing, engineering, construction, food flavor production, and real estate. Blue Diamond Group has spread its tentacles around the world, giving its numerous customers effective, efficient, and quick service. The corporate social responsibility arm of the organization is the Uzotex Foundation. It is used to reach out to those in need in the society. Blue Diamond Group is aimed at satisfying customers' needs while adding value to society. Let's hear more from the founder and executive chairman of Blue Diamond Group, Festus mbisiogu. With so many subsidiaries under Blue Diamond Group, how do you manage all these subsidiaries to achieve your mission and see that your vision also turns reality?
For me to achieve my aims and objective, or for me to go higher in life, I discovered I must have passion for the business. I also try my best to identify those things that would be an impediment for me not to achieve my dreams. What I did to achieve my goal in China was to get professionals in the business, Chinese that knows more about shipping, because I know that I will not be in China always, because we operate from China, we operate from Dubai, we operate from Hong Kong, and we also operate from Vietnam. Recently, we are partnering with somebody in Newark in New Jersey. So in all this section of my businesses, what I considered key is getting the right people on the job. And which, to the glory of God, I'm achieving that. We intend to be in 10 countries of the world. To the glory of God, we are now in 5 countries, so we want to go higher.
Nigeria's relationship with China dates back 50 years ago. I mean, for both countries, it's been a very good relationship. For your organization that deals with operations in 2 countries, that's China and Nigeria, how has business been for you, good or bad?
Well, good. Sometimes bad, but let me take it from both sides. Good in the sense that technology have helped a lot. Just like when we newly established our firm in China, some of the text messages, email from that very side is in Chinese language. So you can imagine me, I don't know how to speak. I don't know how to write in Chinese. So what I did was to get a secretary that can be interpreting. You know, it can see the stress I went through. 80% of what we consume in this country is from China. So some of our clients may have goods from Shenzhen, from Shanghai, from Beijing. I need to, at times, for us to confirm the quality, we need to fly all the way to that very site to inspect the product, and probably before shipment. So these are the challenges we are having. But the good thing about it is that the registration is very easy. Once you go to the foreign affairs, get what it takes for you to register your company, for what it takes for you to have your resident visa. All that is online. And when you follow the due process, you don't need to go through the shortcuts. It's very, very open. Then down here in Nigeria, it's a bit challenging in terms of steady power supply. A few years back, the past administration visited China. They pleaded with Nigerians in diaspora to repatriate their funds back home. So I think I would have made that very call when he visited China. And when Goodluck Jonathan came, they also made that very passionate appeal. The present administration also keep on asking us to repatriate our funds back home. I yielded to that very call. But the biggest challenge we are having is the issue of steady power supply. I brought the machineries, and I have to trace the high tension to get electricity to my own factory, which is not done in China. In China, once you indicate interest to go into any production or manufacturing, you have accessibility to good road, electricity, even tax rebates, incentive, and so on. Their interest rate is a 0% interest rate, unlike here in Nigeria. So these are the challenges I face in this country. In my factory, we spend about 600 liters of diesel per day. In fact, from some of the monthly reports I do get from my factory, we spend almost 10 to 20 million naira on diesel alone. So it's a big challenge. And some of the profit that we're supposed to make is going into this diesel maintenance of generator and so on. In some months, we can't break even. In some months, we are losing. In some months, we are gaining. It's so difficult. And also, it's too difficult even to access loan from bank. Even when you want to access loan from bank, the procedure is too difficult, unlike China. But for the past 2 years, I've been trying to access loan from BOI because we want to expand. Our land is about 6 hectares of land. So the whole core of Shanghai is to ensure that some of these things we import from China is being produced in my factory, but I'm not getting that incentive. So it's a bit difficult.
Now, 4 years ago, you were appointed head of Nigerians in Diaspora Organization for your enhancement or in trade and investments between Nigeria and China. Tell us what these contributions are.
Before that appointment, I have been facilitating a business investment forum between potential investors from China and some state government officials that usually visit China, especially during this very trade fair. That this fair called Canton Fair in China, it holds 2 times in a year, April 15 to April 30 and October 15 to October 30. And some of our government officials do visit China. So I have played the role of bringing them together with potential investors. And I have also succeeded in wooing 32 investors, 23 investors came with me to this country. We visited so many states, governors, state government officials, and some of these investors now have strong presence in Nigeria. Before then, we don't have any consulate office in Guangzhou. We only have trade mission in Shanghai, which is about 18 hours by train from Guangzhou to Shanghai, and about 24 hours, I think, from Guangzhou to Beijing, as of then, before this high-speed train was introduced. So I try my best to bring the government officers that always fly to Beijing, because the commercial hub in China is Guangzhou. So many investors are there. So the ambassador there considered it wise that now that NIDO, the Nigerians in diaspora, is about to be established in China, I was kind of appointed to coordinate the activity of Nigerians in Guangzhou, China.
Now, talking about adding value, through your NGO, Uzotex, you've been able to enhance lives of people around you. Tell us some of those projects you've invested in.
Yes, I concentrated most on reaching out to the indigent people in my community and within my own government, local government. And I have the list of widows on a list that we are reaching out on yearly basis. When I came in for my mother's burial, about maybe 10 years ago, So I discovered that the difficulties of accessing water in our community is still on. We started giving borehole to my own community. Before you know it, the neighboring communities started asking for water. And I now make it a kind of a mission or a target that I must give water through my foundation, either on yearly basis. Whatever God gives me, I will take it, ensuring that all the communities in our local government has access to potable water. And to the glory of God, I have almost given water to almost all the communities in our own local government. Then secondly, issue of health center. We now have health facility in my own local government. This is what my foundation is doing. The hospital is built, handed over to the community, built and furnished. It was commissioned by the former Women Affairs Minister. That was last 4 years. She came and commissioned it. And on yearly basis, we are doing what I call free medical checks. So many, almost from the whole local governments, people are coming. We do invite up to 70 doctors or more than. During the lockdown, the foundation also reached out to them. That foundation is created to reach out by the group, to be a channel to reach out to people. We don't only do it in my own Imo State, even here, we're reaching out to some indigent people. Even I carry even to some states. I've also given water to some states because I know what I passed through when growing up. So I make it as point of duty that as long as the Lord is blessing me, I'll be saving to give water to people. So this is what my foundation is doing.
You have received several awards from the United Nations, from Asia Pacific Awards. I mean, going forward, what more value will you be adding in terms of the nation's economy, of course, and the value you'll be adding to the lives of those around you?
Our aim and objective, our future plan, is to ensure that importation of building materials into our nation is being reduced. Now we have gotten some machineries that can aid in producing quality doors, PVC pipes, electrical pipe, borehole pipe, PVC ceiling. All that, even the roofing sheet, want to be coating it here in Nigeria. All that is what we manufactured in Owerri. And the interesting thing that gives me so much joy is when my clients are telling me that somebody came from Port Harcourt and say she find it difficult to believe that I'm manufacturing this product in Imo State, why it has some containers coming from Turkey, from port. I was shocked. The guy was so happy that this is being produced locally in their country. So for me, that's very statement from this, my friend, gives me a lot of courage and strength. So last time we met in my own factory, we observed to look at those areas that we can expand more. Then again, on the logistics side, we want to ensure that whenever you think of importing anything or doing any transaction from China where we base, we take it up from there. In terms of we stand as a middle person between you and the supplier. We help you to ship, we help you to clear, and we send to your doorpost. These are the values that we want to, but now we want to concentrate locally because our national development is very, very important. Then in terms of reaching out to people, we have secured some plot of land now through my foundation to build skin acquisition center. Some of these, our youth can come there and train, especially the ladies, how to make their hair, how to make soap, and so on, and it will generate employment. We employ some people, we also train. And we're also looking at having a section of that very skin acquisition center to train all these tilers, the people that are into building materials. Like, I want to tell you what is going on in this country now. I think government should be aware. People from Togo, Cotonou, are dominating in terms of this skill work, like POP, tiling of the houses, and so on. And most of us in this country are ignoring that very, very section of business. That will help in taking away youth from the streets, right? Engage them, and that will also reduce unemployment.
When we return, we'll beam our spotlight on Marcelle Ruth Cancer Center and Specialist Hospital right here in Lagos. Stay with us. Welcome back. You're still watching Kaleidoscope on Channels Television. One medical outfit hoping to make a difference is the Marcelle Ruth Cancer Center and Specialist Hospital. Let's tell you more. Established in 2020, the Marcelle Ruth Cancer Center and Specialist Hospital is a one-stop center for the comprehensive treatment of cancer and other special conditions at the purpose-built premises on Victoria Island, Lagos. The team offers the highest standards of care with the latest treatment and technology in comfortable surroundings designed to promote healing. The center provides world-class services with state-of-the-art facilities like radiotherapy center with linear accelerator, imaging center with 64-slide CT scan, 3D mammogram, 3D ultrasound and digital X-ray, 2 modular operating theaters. With the aim to set new standards for healthcare in Nigeria, the Marcelle Ruth Cancer Center and Specialist Hospital is hoping to address the existing gap in Nigeria's health sector. The co-founder and CEO Marcelle Ruth Cancer Center and Specialist Hospital, Modupe Elebute Oduse, speaks to us about her mission and her plans. I know you have a passion for research, but tell me what inspired the Marcelle Ruth Cancer Center and Specialist Hospital, and is it all about cancer?
To be honest, the main thing that inspired this was a desire to come back home. I went to medical school here, left in 1986, and I've spent over 30 years in the United Kingdom doing postgraduate studies in both internal medicine. So I've got a qualification in as a fellow of the Royal College of Physicians, as well as in hematology, fellow of the Royal College of Pathologists. But all the time through my journey, learning and being exposed to the best possible care for patients in different aspects of my training, I've always thought that it would be amazing to come back, to bring that back here, home, and look after patients here. So that really is the crux of it from my personal point of view. But of course, as you know, when you said being passionate about research, whilst doing that research, whilst thinking about what is it that we need here, what is the gap, or what are the gaps really in healthcare, it became clear that it wasn't just about hematology. That's my main specialty, hemato-oncology, looking after patients, from as simple as iron deficiency to as complicated as leukemia and lymphomas, but that actually there was a need to provide care for patients with a number of chronic conditions, really, diabetes, hypertension, as well as cancer, solid tumors, including breast cancer, colon cancer, and so on. And that's how we got here, really. And in terms of thinking through what we should do and how we should do it, sort of brought with me a number of people along the journey who provided some inspiration and guidance with regards what we should do. Our main ethos, our main hope, and the main conception really was to provide international standards of medicine in the one place, a one-stop shop, so that when patients walk in through the door, whether it's about coming for screening, wellness checks, annual wellness checks, which we provide under our concierge service, going through making a diagnosis, or patients who are already diagnosed and just coming to seek treatment, having all their investigations, blood tests, imaging, and then, of course, treatments, transfusions, infusions, chemotherapy, as well as, obviously, the radiotherapy, which is unique in the private sector here. Everything is available here in one place.
And talking about bridging the gap in the health sector, I mean, we see medical tourism being a very serious issue right now. How will your operations be helping bridge that gap in the health sector?
I think we're already doing that. We only opened our doors in December. And actually, our model was we were not going to have any inpatients for about 6 months because we thought it was going to be an expensive thing for us. But actually, within 3 days of opening, we began to actually receive referrals and patients. And if, one thing, if COVID hasn't taught us anything, it's taught us the fact that it's difficult to leave the country to go and seek, whether it's education for your children, whether it's healthcare, whether it's just traveling on holiday. We're in a different place. We're in a different world now. And I think that any organization that is able to allow us to be self-sustaining, that's where we need to be right now. Actually, interestingly, this week, we've had patients who have actually come straight from high commissions where they were trying to leave to go abroad to go and get treatments, actually come here, because it's difficult. I mean, we see what's going on now with this potential third wave of COVID. In the countries that patients typically go and get health care. I think so we're quite excited about that, really.
And how will you be using technology to aid your operations at this center?
So we've invested quite heavily in state-of-the-art medical equipment, diagnostic equipment, as well as equipment to treat patients. So going from, we have a fully operational laboratory, which where we can test for a whole range of blood tests to help make a diagnosis. And from an imaging point of view, we've got 3D ultrasound scan, we've got digital X-ray, we've got I think the most high-tech, state-of-the-art mammogram, which is something actually our ladies are already quite happy about because it's got something called a tomogram in it, and the patients now are able to guide how much pressure they put on whilst the images are being taken. So it's much more comfortable for patients. And actually, because they are in control of how much pressure they're putting on themselves, we find out the images are better, because they know what they're expecting. We've got a 64-slice CT scan. And our CT scan is not just for diagnosis, it's also to help the linear accelerator treat patients with radiotherapy. And then, of course, we've got a radiotherapy machine, a TrueBeam, which is the 5th in West Africa, and the first in West Africa, and the 5th in Africa, bringing state-of-the-art radiotherapy to patients. So here we are able to provide patients with not just the medical treatment, chemotherapy or transfusions, infusions. We also do surgery. We've got 2 modular theaters kitted with state-of-the-art equipment. And in particular, I'm very, very keen, as you said earlier on, about research and about teaching. So we've got one of the theaters where there is audiovisual equipment that's linked to a seminar room, where people can sit in the seminar room, surgeons, students, can watch the surgeon, can hear what the surgeon has to say, and they can be taught without actually being in the room. So yeah, we've I think, tried our best, really, to bring the best possible diagnostic and therapeutic equipment here to treat and look after patients.
Talking about staff, do you source for them locally or you outsource?
I'm very proud to say that we're fully Nigerian owned, mostly Nigerian staffed, apart from 2 expatriates to run the radiotherapy machine because, as I said earlier, it's the first in the country. The rest of our staff are all Nigerians. Some of us have spent a lot of time abroad, so like myself had been away. My director of nursing had worked in the US for over 30 years before she came back. Some of our surgeons are people who have trained abroad and come back, but we also have a complement of highly skilled staff who trained here. So we have got a combination of the 2. I think we've built up quite a good set of staff. We've got over 40 staff in the building who are all well trained to look after patients. And for us, that patient-centered care being delivered by the right skill set with compassion and speedily is quite important to us.
You're passionate about giving back, that I know, from medical school where you helped set up a sickle cell club in Lagos. You're the grand patron of Build Africa and a trustee of Walkabout Foundation. You must have plans to give back to society.
Actually, I've been giving back for a long time. I left medical school when I was 21, so I've been involved with a number of non-governmental organizations for most of my career. And I've done it not just in medicine, but in education. So Build Africa builds schools in Uganda and Tanzania, in rural areas, not in the cities. And that's what we did that for quite a long time. And in the end, we actually had over 100 schools that we built and funded. So giving back is something that, for me, I think, you know, if you're blessed enough to do what you want to do, if you're blessed enough to achieve even probably more than you ever thought you would achieve, then obviously it's easy to realize that you have to consider giving back. With regards to what we're doing here, we've already set up a foundation, the Marcelle Ruth Foundation, which in the future will be available to try and provide care for patients who are not ordinarily able to afford care. Because cancer care and also care of chronic conditions is expensive. It's expensive because the diagnostics, the equipment are expensive. It's expensive because the drugs that we use are quite expensive. And in particular with cancer, we have moved away from just using chemotherapy agents, which are quite toxic to people. We're using drugs that are more targeted so that we're limiting the side effects. But those drugs come at a cost. So we're very acutely aware of that. But apart from what we hope to do, I'm pleased to see that already in the country, there are a number of non-governmental organizations that are very focused on trying to help. The other set of people who are very keen to help are the pharmaceutical companies themselves, who are already working with one or two of them in particular conditions to provide drugs for those patients who cannot ordinarily afford them. So there's a lot of work that is being done. There's much more that we can obviously do. And looking forwards, our aim and our hope is to try and make sure that a wider range of patients can afford care. And we will be doing a lot of work ourselves and together with other bodies to try and ensure that we provide the corporate social responsibility that's needed to provide that for patients in the country.
Well, this is where we draw the curtains on this edition of Kaleidoscope. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to watch past editions. Go to youtube.com/channels web, go to playlist, click on it, and then you'll find various editions of the program. Thanks a lot again. I'm Anne Nwaudo. Stay safe, and I'll see you soon.